Time to turn up for match number 3. We got a big one here. Classic and Slasher, your key players to watch in this one. Classic, of course, a monster on day 1 for Luminosity. And then we all saw Slasher going up against FaZe Clan to close out our initial fight.
Yeah, some former teammates going at it here in this matchup. See Classic very strong in the hard point. We looked at his overall slaying numbers earlier. I believe his kills per game around 35 in the respawns. Absolutely sick. Slasher on the other end for Envy. He's been strong in all 3 game modes. They need him to go big here in this series against Octane, though, in the battle of the NV4s.
That's your G Fuel key player matchup between Luminosity and EnVyUs. Boy, oh boy, this day is flying. I said it was match 3. We're already on to match number 4, our second winners bracket semifinals. We already know it's going to be EUnited waiting to play the winner of this battle in tomorrow's winners bracket finals. They're already guaranteed top 3. Who else is going to be joining them? EnVyUs. They kind of shocked everybody with some wins yesterday, Matt, most notably in Search and Destroy, their weakest game mode from group play.
Yeah, they take out FaZe yesterday in a crazy game 5, but Luminosity, the team on the other end, the best team in competitive Call of Duty right now. They cruised through their first match yesterday. And, these teams, they've had some recent history. Stage 1 playoffs, these teams match up. Luminosity takes that series. They meet up again in Anaheim during pool play. Luminosity takes that series as well. So the last 2 matchups dominated by LG between these 2 teams.
I mean, Envy back at Anaheim, totally different from the Envy that we saw at playoffs, but the results, they're the same. 3-0, 3-0. Luminosity looking to get it done once again. But Envy, if they can cause problems like they did against FaZe yesterday, where do you see it happening in this best of 5?
I don't know.
Coin toss?
I don't know. I mean, with how strong Luminosity is across the board in all the game modes, I mean, maybe you catch them off guard in an S&D, but you're going to have to beat them in a respawn game mode, which means you're going to have to get slaying from everybody. I think that's what you worry about if you're an EnVyUs fan.
I don't think anyone saw Optic Gaming's 3-0 from EUnited coming. If Envy could pull off another upset here, this would just be a day full of shockers. Already we had Fnatic going up over Enigma 6. They're still alive in the tournament. Now we'll get to see what Envy can do here in the winner's bracket. The opening fight, it was all Luminosity, and we're on board with Classic, who dropped 35 in their uplink yesterday. He was a man on a mission in their winner's bracket round 1 match. Yeah, one of the more underappreciated players in competitive Call of Duty. Classic is a beast, whether it's with an AR, an SMG in his hands. See Octane, they're able to pick up 2 kills. So players from LG, they converge on the middle of the map. They will retake that center hard point. So, looking at this series as a whole, Chris, I think you're really going to need JCap to play big. Yep. And you're going to need to get, a lot of help from Slasher in this battle against Octane. And even still, talking about that, with how good LG has been over the last few months, it may not even be enough. I was going to say, honestly, I think the X factor in this series is going to be John. Apathy gave us a pretty rock-solid game yesterday. John was up and down at times, and Slasher was that backbone. But Slasher can't go to work unless the SMGs are doing their jobs up front. And we'll see what John and Apathy can do throughout this battle. Slacked on your screen. One of the longest standing players in competitive Call of Duty. So young, and he is yet so successful. Slacked and crew are going to win the fight in the back, and the barn is controlled by Apathy, but it shouldn't be long. Octane gets in there and clears him out. Yeah, it's a smart play like Slacked. He's inside of the hill, and he knows he's being pinched on by the players from Envy, so he just leaves the hard point, waits till he has 2 or 3 teammates there, then goes back for the re-entry. Smart play there by Slacked. The rest of Luminosity as they break barn. They're not pushing out. They know they don't have a great shot of forcing those gunfights in the back of the map. They have 1 player go back there. Slack's able to take a few out. So players try and just hold down this barn. Now it is LG. They've taken a ton of time here. They did a nice job on that first hard point. Octane wins a big gunfight in the middle of the map there against John. Octane on a 4 streak. And I think when you look, Luminosity, if they're playing well, I don't know who beats them. I mean, EUnited has played great. Fantastic team. I think those guys, they have excellent players, but I just think, LG, you're seeing, one of the more dominant runs the team's gone on. We were trying to put together a squad on paper that matches up evenly, if not better than Luminosity, and we were trying to make some super teams. It was tough, though, to figure out who do you have outgunning Octane in that position as your lead AR player. who's going to be the second best on Luminosity? Because at any time, Saint, Slacked, or Classic can take that position on the leaderboard. Well,
I think if, Saint, Slacked, Classic, I mean, any of these four guys, they go to any other team in competitive COD, and they're either their best or second best player, I think, without question. As the Octane inside of the hill, he's going to get taken out by Cap as Cap slides through. As EnVy's gotten a little bit of time here. They do have control for baseball, so a good setup on this next hill for EnVy. But John right now, SMG player for EnVy, getting off to a 5-12 start. EnVy still hanging in the game, though, so it's a good sign for them.
Slasher doing a great job from back bus, picks up 2 kills on Luminosity's opening push. Meanwhile, his teammates are inside the hard point scoring. It's going to be Apathy left inside the hill as JCap was lost at blue. Here comes the push from Luminosity. Slasher and John are going to rotate over, and you do have JCap coming off spawn, but Saints is going to break through with Classic. Classic now the last one here for LG, and he's got to stay alive. Buy time for your reinforcements.
The smart play there by Classic. Gets back into the hill. He has some teammates here in support, but they're not able to win the fight. So it'll be EnVy taking control of baseball yet again. You see the number 8, Saints, on the minimap. He's going to wait for some more teammates to come through that mid-cut before he starts to make the push. But EnVy has done a great job hanging in this game.
And I was doing some math earlier. EnVy was -11 overall in slang. That number starting to get smaller and smaller as EnVy starts winning their gunfights in the last 2 minutes here.
It's a fantastic first half from EnVy. It looks like they're in a position where they're going to get kind of slayed off the map. LG, after Barn, it was completely controlled by EnVyUs. So EnVyUs does a fantastic job in the first half of the game, bringing a lead into the second half. Quickly erased, though, as LG has now gotten control of mid-map.
And look at Slack. That number 7 arrow on the mini-map has been so tough to deal with for EnVy. Constantly catching anyone who wants to flank, as well as just getting in a position where you have to check your corners. For this current setup, you got 2 players in the middle of the map. Octane, watching the window from afar, is now going to take his position on the top bus. And after dropping down from the train area, you are going to see his teammates at short range have to deal with it. Saints finds 2, but that's about it. It's Apathy and John. Apathy with the 3-piece, John with the intro kill, as EnVy gets all 4 of the players spawning out, and EnVy is now set up for Barn.
Yeah, EnVy is going to have control of this next hard point. It's just these rotational kills. It's going to be 1 for Octane, 1 for Classic. Not the way you would have wanted to go for EnVy, but they do control the spawn. So you see 3 and 4, that's John and Slasher. They die, but they spawn right up in the back. They're going to be able to go support their teammates in the hill, but the onslaught is still coming from Luminosity.
Big hold by JCap against Slacked at the front door. He was the only one in position for that gunfight. And now Classic has to wait for more pressure. Saints is coming from the back, and Classic is opening things up. Slacked is going to find player number 3, so now they take down Cap, and Classic, that was basically an individual effort which earned them this Barn.
He's on a 6 streak. He just makes these plays look so easy. He's going to earn himself active camo in the Scarab, only 25 off of the Trinity. And it's just, I mean, every time we go on with him, like, he's making the right play, like the smart play, and he's just picking up the kills as well. It's just such a rare thing to see with a player. Usually, they're in position, but they're not the best to Slayer. Sometimes they pick up with the kills, sometimes they don't. It's just Classic, always in the right position.
Like you said, his positioning. Every single one of those gunfights, he is in a position where he can dish out more damage than he's going to take, and he is streaked out now. Classic and Octane with their payloads. No one from EnVy really past that 75% mark. Finally, it's going to be Slasher and JCap pushing forward, and that is 3 straight kills for EnVy. Make it 4 as Apathy finds Slack.
Yeah, it's big for EnVy. JCap picks up 2 big kills, and they actually push all the way through to that back bus, but look at number 7, it's Slack. He's actually spawned down behind the members of EnVy. He's going to be able to take out John, and this is not good for EnVy. It's going to be a pinch coming through for LG. They're still able to hold that back spawn. They're going to lose the remaining time here on bike path, though.
JCap versus Slack. This is the battle we saw from the Barn where Cap was set up early. This time, though, Slack is going to win the fight. And the kills keep going down here for Luminosity. Octane and Slacked all over the feed. Those blue arrows wiped across the map. Luminosity set up here on baseball, and this is where they can pull away.
Octane's getting a lot of pressure over here at the bus. He knows he has at least 1 player coming towards him. He's going to be able to take out 1 before he dies. It's a good trade there. Saints has now come behind 1 player, going to pick up the second one as well. 2 big kills from Saints. It'll be Slack getting back inside of the hill as LG holding it down.
And look at John, -10, Apathy, -5. These are the 2 players I highlighted at the start of the game. They have been just knocked out by the pressure from Slacked and Classic on these hard points. Classic, plus 10, man, on another 4 streak. Still has his Trinity, still has his bombardment. Could double up on a Scarab, which he probably won't even need to use in this game.
And the thing that's impressive to Luminosity, for me, obviously we've had some great dynasties throughout, competitive Call of Duty. You look back, Complexity G, Optic Gaming, their current team, in some of the past titles. I just don't remember a team like that was so consistent in terms of slaying from event to event. Like the Cold teams, never really got, they never really got a lot of the wins just by heavily outslaying the opponent. Just all 4 people just gunning people down. It was a lot of, teamwork, obviously a lot of slaying, a lot of firepower, but this LG team, they're just winning by just, consistency in the slaying department, just gunning people down all over the map. It's really impressive because it's actually the hardest way, I think, to win consistently.
Classic picking on John with the Trinity Rockets, but the kills are still being traded in the middle of the map. This one definitely will be going to 250 before the time ticks off the clock like we saw Fnatic and Enigma 6. Player number 1, though, it's JCap on your mini-map, who is paving the way with Slasher down low. That's going to free up John in the middle. The question is, how do you clear the spawns now at Luminosity? This next hill rotates in about 10 seconds, and player number 2, Apathy, is setting up for the backstab. Yeah,
and Envy's getting very close to having a lot of the payload ability. So JCap has his, John and Slasher have theirs as well. FTL, Camo, and Centurion on the board for Envy are getting very close to reactive. You may have to think about investing some of them in towards this hill because you cannot afford to give the last 50 or so seconds up to LG. They can get within about 3 points of winning the game if they're able to hold on to this.
I don't know if you saw Classic in that, but he wins the fight against Apathy, survives. John knows exactly where he is. Classic puts the moves on him, puts enough time on the board there for Saints to hit John with the grenade, and then Classic goes on to pick up another kill and assist in a third. His movement on the mini-map is just insane, and he is playing incredible here throughout stage 2. Luminosity went to the grand finals. They fell just short to Splice, but honestly, this time around, I feel like without a doubt, they are the team to beat.
Oh, without question. Envy breaks in the last 11 or so seconds. Saving grace for them as they don't use any of the abilities to get through. But still, to be Luminosity only 18 points and counting away from taking game number 1. It's Cap and Envy, they get control of the hill, but here comes Luminosity. Classic with 1. Apathy knows where the pressure's coming from, but it's Octane at range. You have the nades flying at you, somebody close. Octane from a distance. Saints there with the reactive armor. Gets 1. The Centurion will go down. It'll be just 10 points needed for Luminosity to take it.
Slasher's inside, but he was tagged up by the Centurion, and Octane will take him down. Envy, though, continues to score. It's player number 2, Apathy, who's still up inside. John trying to protect from middle of the map. Nice wall bang there. Didn't even see the player, but gets the kill. Apathy defends himself against Octane and finds Saints as well. What a comeback here from Envy. Just when it looked like Luminosity was going to shut it down on bike path, we are going to the baseball hard point if they can survive. Apathy needs to win this one-on-one against Saints.
Yeah, and LG, they only have Classic's payload ability as well. They only have that camo. Still have Apathy with his reactive armor. You still have John's payload ability as well. They'll give it the last second or so. Slasher dropping down, trying to pick players off in the cross. JCap needs to pick up some kills here. Be huge for Envy.
Oh,
he doesn't pick up anything. You see 3 players from LG storming towards the base. Classic will use one of his streaks. Apathy, though, he pops the reactive armor. It'll be Classic getting 1 with the bombardment. Still has the Scarab, but Envy getting very close to making this comeback. Here comes the camo play from Classic.
3 defenders up. The camo, though, takes down JCap. Classic turns and takes down Apathy, so it's all up to John and Slasher. Slasher is going to find 2. John with the 3rd, and Slasher finds the 4th. What a hold here from Envy, and that is the ball game. 2 seconds to go, and they just did it. Merc is throwing his hands up in the air at the analyst desk. TP is just nodding with a smirk. Oh my goodness, what a comeback from Envy.
I mean, sitting over there with those guys, we all expected, Luminosity to come in here and roll, but I see TP's nodding his head. He's like, okay. That is a big game there from Envy, man. Slasher played well in game number 1. You got a good game from Cat. Kappa, I know, did not pick up one of those kills over by the bus, but still just got them weak enough. I believe it was Slasher and John there on baseball at the end that went huge for Envy.
Oh, yeah.
It's Envy looking like they're in no champs form from last year. And this is our champs winners from last year. Same exact roster. This time of year, they're playing their best.
I can't wait to go back and just watch this VOD, the final 2 minutes, and just stare at that mini-map. I feel like Apathy just held his ground under Bike Path for so long. He gave his team a chance, kept LG out, but most importantly, they were slowly ticking away on that scoreboard, getting ever closer until that final hill.
And I think what helped EnVy as well is when they broke Barn, they didn't have to use any of their abilities. So they had all 4 abilities there towards the end of the game. They're able to get into Barn. Then I believe on the next hill, all they invest is the Centurion, I believe, of JCap. So they still had the reactive. You had the FTL jump, and I believe Slasher still had his camo at that moment in the game. And you saw Apathy with the reactive towards the end pick up some kills. At the all they had was Classics camo, and you had that 1 bombardment. That's all you had to work with from LG. We've seen a lot of comebacks there on baseball. EnVy able to steal game 1 there from LG.
I'll be honest, Matt, throughout the group stages, there's times as a caster where you just zone out. You just assume this game is over. The team that has the advantage coming in should be able to steamroll their way through. But here in the playoffs, throw away all of the stats because every single game is going down to the wire. That was a phenomenal performance from EnVy to steal game 1.
Yeah, I think I saw a Parasite tweet, I know, before I came out here. He's like, EnVy's kind of my sleeper team here at playoffs. I know Luminosity, we talk so much about. United's playing great. It's like EnVy's been able to get these wins. They played Optic really tough in their group. Going to game 5, they were taking hard points off of them. They beat FaZe last night in a crazy game 5. They played perfect down the stretch in Search and Destroy to take it. It's an EnVy team. I mean, there's no stage bigger than champs, and EnVy's, they've gone through that. Coming back in a game 5, doesn't really phase these guys as well. I think EnVy's looking like a dark horse for this event, incoming COD champs.
And now we look at Crusher, Search, and Destroy, and you take a look at these 2 teams. Historically, when I've cast Luminosity, Classic has gone off on this game type in this game mode. On the other side, though, we highlighted in the G Fuel key player matchup, Slasher has the KD advantage coming in. When you look at Crusher in particular, which of these 2 teams do you think has the edge?
Well, I think, Luminosity has been stronger in SND, and especially on this map, they're just able to kind of roll as a pack, just force gunfights. But I think, with the way Slasher's been playing, I mean, a lot of talk at the beginning of the year, he was kind of up and down. We were like, oh, maybe when he gets done with school, put a little bit more time in. After that, you really saw the EnVy team kind of get dysfunctional. A lot of tweets from the guys. Didn't seem like they really loved playing with each other. I think I've been most impressed with how Slasher has bounced back and played. He has been lights out through day 1 of this event and during the group stages.
He brings the fire every single time the game loads up. We'll see what Slasher, player 8 on the mini-map, can do. And he just spots 2 players, forced to back up from those jammers. And now EnVy, all stacked up, knows exactly where Luminosity is.
They don't have to be aggressive here, but they're going to push right onto the bomb, and you trade that kill out. Apathy gets right behind the site. He's able to pick up another. Slack, though, able to pick up 2. 1 more comes in. The trade goes in favor of LG. They take round number 1.
You see the air fist bump between Saints and Slack. And at the very end, it is Octane. Last man standing as he takes down Slasher. That was a bloodbath at the bomb site. We'll see what's going to happen, though, as we switch sides. It'll be Luminosity on the defensive end, EnVy on the attack. Player to watch for me is definitely going to be Apathy as this game goes on.
So we'll see what EnVy does now on the attack.
Slasher spots 2 inside, and he gets away with his life. So the information has been gathered by EnVy. This B bomb site should only have 2 defenders, and they should be able to take advantage of this.
I mean, LG is just going to play for a retake here, so they'll let the bomb go down. You see the players, the red arrows on your screen, already moving back towards the B site, and Apathy just going to keep going on that wall run. Just getting up top. As soon as the 1 player comes in, it's a nice shot there by JCap, able to take out Classic. So now EnVy in a great spot. Now they have a 2-man advantage. The bomb is planted for them. JCap with 2 big kills in the round. Woo! Apathy with 2 more. EnVy take our 2nd round.
Classic couldn't even get that grenade off. That's how fast JCap melts him. And then here you see the end. Apathy gets 1 and then charges out. Perfect shots working with John to pick up the kill on Octane. That aggressive duo of John and Apathy, players to look out for. Also credit to Slasher, who got the early intel for his team on their first attack. But EnVy, they're back on defense. It's Luminosity on the attack. We haven't seen an A bomb site attempt from either squad quite yet. Once again, it'll be Luminosity going to the bottom of the mini-map over here at B.
So EnVy stacks over towards A. So as soon as they don't see the push from LG, going to rotate all the way out. LG usually plays at such a fast pace that you know, when you don't see somebody at the beginning of the game, you know, they're not going to play it slow. If they do play it slow, you kind of like it because it was a playstyle that didn't favor them at all. And Slasher getting first blood again.
Oh, no.
Slack's able to take out 2. Classic with 1. It'll be Slasher, the only one up here, 1v2. He's able to get 1, makes it a 1v1, not able to take out Saints. There'll be another round on the board for LG.
That was a bit of an aggressive push there that I wasn't sure was going to work out for Luminosity. Saints is behind his teammate, but Slasher had a chance there. Almost gets the 1 versus 2, but solid K-bar shots coming in. Luminosity, the 4 stack, wins it in this round.
Yeah, it's a good play there at the end from Saints and Classic. Classic slides out. Slasher was forced to look at him. It allows, you know, Saints a few seconds to get some shots in to Slasher before he can even react. So good way to trade that out towards the end.
Luminosity's going to stack 4 on defense over at B. Slasher, who saw players at A on their last attack, doesn't see anybody this time around. You see those blue arrows. They're all rotating back. Classic's on the hunt, though. He's going to be chasing. And if he turns this corner at just the right time, he's going to get his first free kill. That player is number 6, Apathy out, who now spots 2, calls out the first one after picking up the kill on Slack.
They do have the site completely open. Slasher goes in that long flank. Clears it out. They bring the bomb right to him. Just Apathy a little bit slower to get over towards him. And I believe Slasher should have seen at least one, I think, here mid-map. So knows where the presence is here from LG.
Slasher saw him and just ran away. Knew he has a better opportunity if he just comes in later to the site. Spots Saints, calls out the second. Classic, though, just steamrolls past John, and Octane's going to find JCap. So Slasher, he's got to get the 1v2 here. All you have to do is delay this for 5 more seconds, 3 more seconds. And that bomb has been hopped. He is going to kill the player, and that is enough time here for EnVyUs to get their second round win.
Smart plays there from Slasher. We saw it last night in the game 5, the 1v1 against Zuma, where he played behind that bus. This time, plays the clock, checks the bomb, sees nobody on it, knows he just needs to re-peek in a few seconds to pick up the kill and secure the round for EnVy.
There you see Classic forced to jump on it. He is dead to rights. Not enough cover fire. Slasher gets in and gets out. 2-2, very even game. Both teams having quite a bit of success on their attack.
See what LG does here on this next offensive round. It seems with, you know, Classic and Slack both having E-Rats into their hand, this is going to be a fast push inside. As you see, though, it's going to be Slasher with the nades, able to take out Classic. It's going to stop the push here from LG. Now LG is kind of trapped.
LG getting stunned up and stunted on their push. All of the kills coming in at once. Slasher, once again, one of the few players left standing at the end of that bloodbath, and here he is in your round-ending kill cam. Fantastic work from EnVy.
Slasher already with camo. Pops it, pushes straight down the hall, is able to get 2. Now we'll have to see. You know, he got a few kills towards the end of that last round, 2 in this round. The Slasher playing quite well. Okay, so he's 100 off the Scarab. And then you think, I mean, if the game goes the distance with how well he's been playing, he's going to get close to getting another camo.
I think we're going to see double camo here from Slasher. I'm just feeling it. He already has 8 kills. He's definitely dropping double digits. Luminosity, they need to win 4 more rounds. EnVy, just 3. And Apathy is going to be tagged up by everything. Slack is going to take down JCap. First blood to Luminosity, looking for second. Apathy trades out. Octane is here. And Apathy somehow surviving with John, but not for long. Finally, 2 players push forward and both get taken down.
I like the idea from EnVy to push all the way through the site and just kind of cut LG off at the choke. I know, but the first gunfights don't go their way, and then when you're kind of stuck, you have like 2 players trying to hide behind that rock and the nades flying in. That first kill goes in favor of EnVy. Maybe they push into that back warehouse, and it's a different round.
Luminosity, a lot of people expected them to be up 1-0 and have total control of the search and destroys, but EnVy has shown improvement in that game type in particular. And on defense, EnVy is all going to go to the top of the mini-map. Meanwhile, this bomb is being planted at the lower B bomb site. Saints is going to turn and watch the flank for a moment. Looks like that responsibility has been handed off to Octane. who will spot Apathy and more.
We see this play a lot. Slasher's in the other side of the map, watching the cross, making sure nobody pushes through to that back rock. The rest of the members go on a flank, and it works to perfection for Envy. 3 dead for LG. Saints, the only one up, gets behind Cap, not able to win the fight. Cap turns and burns him. There'll be a defuse here for JCap and EnVyUs as they take the round.
And Saints is going to have 15 seconds to think about that KD. Now 3 and 5 after a free kill turns on him. Unfortunate finish to that one for Luminosity. Envy back on the attack here. And they're looking to go up on the game point. Where does Envy go right here, Matt? If you're the captain, where are you making the shot call?
With reactive, you go inside, and I think you let Apathy lead with reactive, but they're playing this a little bit slower. Maybe see if they can bait out a push from LG, because you know LG likes to get aggressive. So maybe you can bait this push out. If you do, great. You pop reactive in this small corridor. You're going to pick up 2 kills with the ERAD, just how fast now you're able to just kill players. And now you see Apathy. Spots 1 behind the box. Slasher leads in, gets 2. So now this is big from the sense that you get 3 dead. You don't have to invest a reactive into the round. You can just take it guns blazing in towards the site. So now you have the reactive for next round, but Octane does have camo.
He just unlocked that camo. As you saw in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, the kill before this earns Octane the camo. But now it's Envy on game point.
Slasher yet again, opening things up. He slides in, able to pick up 1, gets behind the box, able to pick up a second. Allows Envy to win the round. Almost more importantly, allows Apathy to keep his reactive. And then if you look, I mean, Slasher is so close to another camo. So if he's able to pick up, like, 1, 2 kills, I mean, even if it goes to around 11, you think, he gets another camo.
He used his first camo after earning 6 kills. Slasher looking for kill number 12. Octane is going to pop his camo, though, and doesn't pick up any kills quite yet. Injures everybody. Will his teammates be able to mop this up? Slasher getting tagged up, uses his second camo, and seals the deal. 6-3.
You see the potential that Slasher has. When he gets it going, he can dominate a series. Gets his second camo here in S&D, gets tagged up, pops the camo, immediately slacked. He's not going to be able to target him. Knows there's probably a second player coming through the site trying to take him out. Slasher turns around, guns him with the NV4. And we got Envy up 2-0 here against LG.
Slasher is definitely making a point this weekend. He should be in the running for event MVP at this point in the tournament. And
they got to get a little farther from
right there. I think he puts himself back in the running, though, as one of the best ARs in the game. A lot of people kind of forgot about him in the middle of IW. He is making some strong statements here today.
I mean, a lot of what we've heard from Slasher this year, just kind of know how everyone's thought of him. It's like, I mean, he's just had some moments where he's just been like crying about the team, his own gameplay and whatnot, and everyone's just waiting for Slasher to just focus on the game. Like, we know how talented he is in the game, and now you're actually seeing him play at a very high level.
Mr. Liddycoat is putting on a show for us here in Columbus, Ohio. The $500,000 playoffs continues. Envy, they are on match point. Can they pull off the upset? Let us know on Twitter. Tweet at us at COD World League and, of course, at MLG. We'll be here all day long. Don't go anywhere. Game number 3 coming up when we return. Optic Gaming already in the losers bracket. FaZe Clan, they're in the losers bracket. Now we're going to find out, can EnVyUs send Luminosity down to the losers bracket to take on a waiting Fnatic? This has been a very surprising day number 2, and Envy, they have shocked everybody with the way they've performed. Outslayed by 16 kills, they still win the hard point, and now they take a Crusher Search and Destroy from Luminosity.
Yeah, in game number 1, everybody on Envy had moments where they played great. It had Slasher and John towards the end, Cat picking up some big kills towards the middle of the map. In game number 2, Slasher played out of his mind, gets 2 camos. Although I do think, Chris, going into a game 3, I find it hard to believe that Envy would win 2 respawns getting outslayed again. No buy LG. I think Envy really needs to get that down from 16 to closer to even to have a real good shot at winning this uplink.
I was going to say, if you keep it less than 5, you have a really good opportunity. But Octane, he is going to try and blow you out of the water. He opens up with 2 kills. Same thing for Classic. 3-0 start here for Slack. And Octane's looking for point number 1. He's going to find it with the Long Ranger.
At the same time, though, if Envy, you can lose by getting outslayed. You just need to pick up the kills that matter. Like if they're losing some fights, maybe in their own base, and they're not giving up some points, just trading, and they're able to win some gunfights towards that middle of the map, and then inside of LG's base, they can go negative in the overall KD, but just win those important fights. Still take this game.
I like that decision by Apathy. You're dead to rights. Just throw the drone into Luminosity's base, force them to slow down a bit. Classic, though, is going to gather this, and he still has all 3 lead blockers. Slack, the first one into action. Going up against John. Now there's more support. You got Slasher there as well. John comes sliding in, and this could push LG back. The remaining 3 players are all stacked up. Is Saints going to be able to open the door for him?
Saints is going to be able to pick up 2 kills. Slasher drops Classic and Octane before he gets taken out. You have Saints and Slack, though. Slack coming off the spawn, still able to pick up some kills, but the drone gets back and reset. You see, though, Slack and Saints still inside of the EnVyUs base. Saints on a 4 streak now.
Do you play for the points or do you play for the streaks here if you're Saints? It looks like he wanted to lead the way for points, but Slasher guns them both down. Octane as well as Saints removed from the map, and that drone will not be allowed through.
Yeah, he was pretty far off of streaks. He's 100 off of the Scarab, but really, when you're talking about the streaks, you're talking about getting the bombardment or the Trinity rocket. He's a ways away from that. So I think if you're LG, you play for the points at the beginning of the game.
Slasher with another 2-piece, taken down by a flying Classic. And Classic, this guy was a legend yesterday in his uplink, dropped 35 kills there. Now going up against Envy. Currently working with Slack to lead the squad. Octane taking his position, picks up 1, has 1 more player down below the bike path. The pinch comes in. Nice help from Slack and Saints. A 3-man push is coming up with Octane grabbing the drone. In fact, they're going to leave that for Classic. They want the kills first.
It's been a very good half for LG in the sense that they've had control of the Envy base the entire time, but Envy holding this to a 1-0 game. So talked a little bit about how can they win without getting the slaying to go in their favor. It's when you pick up these kills. They don't pick up the kills in the middle of the map. They pick up the kills on the defensive end. If you're going to keep it this low scoring of a game, you just need 2-3 engagements to go your way. You put a 2-point play on the board, then maybe you get LG playing a little bit too aggressive. A nice pass there to John as John puts it home for a 1-point play for Envy.
You talked about getting the kills that matter. It's Slasher opening the door for him with back-to-back double kills. John, he's able to make the most of his opportunity for the 1-point play. And Envy, they were getting outslayed by 11 when that fight first started. They have cut that number down, and they have tied up our leaderboard at 1-1.
We talk about how much the AR battle matters, just in terms of overall Infinite Warfare, especially, as I mentioned earlier, in Hardpoint. Uplink, holds the same weight. Slasher's dominating right now. You have Octane at 7 and 9, Slasher 17 and 18. Slasher has put together a phenomenal series thus far, puts in a 2-point play there for Envy.
And also credit to John, who picks up the 3-piece, which leads to that Slasher dunk. Slasher still behind enemy lines, causing problems with his NV4. Needs 1 more kill to unlock some score streaks, and he will not get it. Just as Scarab, no Trinity rockets to work with in our second half. 40 seconds remain here for Luminosity, and they want more points, Matt.
It's a big kill there from Classic. Those Trinity rockets could have been a great defensive tool for EnVyUs. It'll be Saints trying to go off the wall run. Actually gets body blocked by a teammate there. So it'll be Envy holding on the defensive side of things. And if you look, it's going to be Slasher getting very close to Camo going into the second half. So Envy in a very good spot. The lower scoring this game is, the better it is for EnVyUs.
I mean, you got Slack, who is +5, now +4. Saints was +5. The slang battle is being won by Luminosity, but Envy just scrappy and some stellar defense here in our opening 5 minutes. I mean, look at the numbers from JCap. He is 4-14, but his team is leading going into the half.
Slasher just huge on the defensive end with Apathy and John. And you saw there towards the end, John had the drone. He tried to throw it over the top of the LG players. It was going to be a pass to Slasher, who's actually going under that mid-cut. I believe the drone actually ended up on top of the roof there, the little concession stand, and it gets reset towards the middle of the map. So Envy almost was able to pull off another play at the end of the game, put a point on the board.
Slack surviving his initial engagement, now looking for more. Finds JCap, who has just been outgunned all game long. And Slack will go down. That was 3 down momentarily for Luminosity. Envy with 2 up will try and make the push work. Slasher going on the far left side of the base. Meanwhile, the other 3 will take it right through the silo. Goes Apathy with his drone. It's handed off, and he is paving the way now. Octane, the player to beat, and John's going to go up and over him for the 1-point play. It lands. Envy up 4-1.
So Envy up 4-1. You have Slasher getting very close to active camo, so you think that you'll be able to turn that into points. Envy in a position of potentially 3-0 Luminosity here. Would be a huge upset. Nobody expected this EnVyUs team to do much during their groups. They come out in second. Not a lot of people expected Envy to take down FaZe in their first matchup. They've done that. Now an underdog in this match. Envy has showed up.
Octane getting a lot of help from Slacked and Saints right there. All 4 remain up for Luminosity, and here comes a guaranteed 2. 2 players left to stop Classic, but honestly, there's just too much pressure on the front. Octane mops up 2 of them, and Classic will find a 3rd. Envy all wiped out of their base. Even Slacked is going to find Apathy on the retreat back to the drone. Luminosity, they have Envy's base on lockdown, and they are rallying in a 2nd attempt.
Yeah, here's where you would have loved if you were Envy to get that Trinity Rocket on the Slasher and see the streaks coming down. Octane earned him. He was on a 7 streak before.
Oh, no.
It'll be a 2-point play as Octane wipes the board with the Trinity Rocket. As now it'll be Luminosity with more control of EnVyUs' base. What's scary is you may need that camo to just get back towards the middle of the map, as now you got streaks on Classic. LG has woken up here in the second half.
And look at Octane. I mean, he just got 4 straight kills. The Trinity picking up 3 of them. He put Envy on their back. How does Envy answer the last 1.5 minutes of aggression from Luminosity?
Well, it's going to be more streaks used there from Octane. So you still have, you know, the camo on Slasher. So, you know, you think the camo, if you can get back towards mid-map, you need to get some kind of control first. Then you put a 2 on the board. So then you find yourself only down 1 if you're Envy. Just maybe if you can get Apathy with reactive, but you see how far he's away, you know, with him and JCap having pretty poor games. And you may never get those payload abilities where, you know, then you're in a tough spot if you're EnVyUs. You know, they need to get at least a 1-point play, and then they need to make that camo convert into 2.
Octane is going to grab this drone, overdrive his way to safety over towards blue. Here comes the push from Envy, and that is a rare gunfight that Octane is going to lose. Apathy picks him off the head glitch, and Saints is going to take down John. So Luminosity trading kills with Envy as Envy is trying to go back on the attack. We have Apathy still up, but there's 4 red arrows all over him. Apathy goes down, and here comes the counterplay from LG.
The thing that's going to be difficult for Envy is how to get Slasher in a position where you can use camo to get points, and you're not just using camo to, you know, get the drone a little bit further with an opportunity for a 1. Like, you need to convert into 2. But with the position that they're being pushed back into, it's like they need to string some kills together to get mid-map, but none of them are going their way.
There are 3 straight kills for LG. And Classic is bringing up this drone. Manual passing it forward. Still has some Trinities to work with. The drone will be snatched up by Envy Slasher, though. Solid defense again from Envy. The ERAD, only player up from LG, is Slacked, who's going to stop this push once again. Every time Envy wants to get aggressive, there's 1 player, if not more, set up to stop you.
And you're never getting in position to use camo. Slasher there can't even get back towards the middle of the map. More streaks coming down here for LG. And although you do have the camo, you may never get points from it.
And JCap in the second half has been hit with 3, if not 6 Trinity rockets. He's died 3 times to them. You saw Slack investing all 3 of his rockets to take out JCap earlier. This has been a rough second half for EnVyUs. All things were looking well in your first 5 minutes despite being outslayed. Now you see what happens when the kills are just never ending. Camo pop by Slasher. He knows this is desperation time. Needs at least a 1-point play and then a second dunk to follow this up immediately after. Instead, they're gonna go for the gunfights. This drone with the attempt, it's up, it's over, it misses, and this is game 7-4. Luminosity stays alive, and we're going to a game 4.
Yeah, Octane heated up in the second half. He earned streaks. Classic gets streaks as well. And you just can't afford, I believe it was Cap and Apathy. Got off to slow starts. See Slasher still playing well. You just will not beat them. I mean, they won game 1, Envy. They get outslayed by 16 kills. Such a rare occurrence. I can't stress that enough. That right there, you see LG just start to heat up. You see the punishment they can put on.
And pretty sure Saints is going to drop the 30 bomb as well. So it was Slacked who had Trinities, Octane with Trinities, Classic with Trinities, everyone getting streaked out. When things were going wrong for Envy, it continued that way. They couldn't get out of their base, just cycle after cycle. You saw the drone being ran at them. And fantastic execution here in Uplink. I feel like Luminosity, we say, is this the best hardpoint team in the game? Is this the best S&D team in the game? Are they in the running for best uplink team in the game?
It's just respawns. I mean, when you have that much slaying, it's just the respawn game modes that they're going to excel in. So your hardpoints and uplinks, when you kill like that, you're going to give yourself a chance in most of those games. I think you look, this third game and really the second half was just dominated by LG. You had Cap get off to a really slow start.
Yeah.
And Envy is able to take a lead going into the second half. It's just you can't rely on Slasher. I mean, he would have had to get near 40. I mean, even at 40, they probably wouldn't have won. And he never gets a chance to use that camo. He has to pop the camo to be able to get a 2-piece mid-map just to get his teammates to the drone. It's just did not go well for Envy in the second half.
We're going to give our players a moment to reset before jumping into game number 4. And while we wait, let's take a look at what the players had to say about their biggest competition coming into the event.
Luminosity, I think they're the best team in the game right now. I think they've showed it the past few events, and that's just a scary team when they're all clicking. So I would say that's our biggest competition.
It's hard to say because Optic, they've been struggling a little bit, but then they really bounced back within the past few weeks. Like at their week, they showed they were playing amazing. Envy even bounced back at their week. I know a lot of people were downing them, so they even bounced back from their top 24 placing at Anaheim.
If we just start off hot this weekend, our biggest competition will be Optic. We've just got to stay on that consistent level and shoot on all cylinders. If we beat Optic, then we just got to thrive off it going into the next 2 series.
Our biggest competition ourselves. If we get down on ourselves, we're not going to win a map. We know we could take on every team here.
I wouldn't say we have anyone specifically for our biggest competition. There's a lot of great teams here. Optic looks like they're firing on all cylinders. Luminosity just won. United with Clay looks really good. So there's a bunch of teams that I feel like could win this event, but I'm not looking at any of them specifically. I just want to focus on my opponent at the time and win.
Only 3 teams remain in our winner's bracket. We started with 8. And we're about to find out which one of these 2 squads is going to fall down to that loser's bracket. Already know Optic and FaZe, that loser's bracket battle will happen later tonight. Fnatic, they're waiting to play the loser of this series. And Envy, they could send Luminosity down right now if they're able to pull off another hardpoint win. And remember, they got outslayed by 16 kills in the first map. They steal the win there. Breakout, this is a map where you can punish if you have improper rotations. Could it happen again here, Matt?
I don't know. I mean, they get outslayed in the uplink by 30. So in the respawn game modes, LG has outslayed them by a combined 46 kills. And it's crazy is that they outslay by 30 and they only win by 3. It's just kind of rare. I mean, to have that disparity in terms of kills and not have like a really blowout win. Kind of a testament to how strong Envy played, holding on their own base. But I got to imagine if we see another slaying performance like we've seen the first 2 respawns from LG, they're not going to let Envy off the hook. They're going to punish him.
I think it's going to come down to JCap. Remember at the half, he was 4 and 14, -10 in the opening 5 minutes of uplink. If he can step up, and play the way he did against FaZe, we could see this series over right here. But I know a lot of people on my Twitter feed, they're cheering on Luminosity, they're cheering on the Anaheim Open champs, hoping that they will be matching up in the winners bracket finals. Here's a look at Octane, who opened up the game with a grenade on John. Since then, he picks up 2 kills on this spree. Slasher in the window for Envy is going to slow him down.
It's going to be Slasher, though, just playing here for these back spawns as he's just trying to lock it down, but it's going to be LG breaking on through.
And Matt, Luminosity, they know what's on the line here. They know how important this next hard point is going to be as well. And Envy, they only had John in the back. With Luminosity winning that gunfight, they're going to be set up, and I'd love to crank up our headphones. Let's go ahead and go into a listen in with LG.
Do not die, do not die. Back him down, man. I need to hold front. Nothing pushy yet, Sam. Nothing pushy yet. I have your push.
Are we going on the back?
Yeah, he's in the back, all the way in the back, Austin. All the way in the back garage, all the way back garage.
Down him as well.
Next one, tires. Low warning front, coming. You went in the back, you went in the back from the wall. Watch back. Telling you. Turn. John and Austin, only two there. John and App, last 2.
Two on hill, yeah, one's weak.
Corner. I'm not streaks.
Rotate.
I have pull streaks, guys.
Menu. We're getting the beer.
Two ult. Cave and pitching spiral.
2 E-box right now. Deep there, real quick. I'm looking at
Should spawn here. I spawn less hill.
One's gonna
Sam,
be
tell me when you're in my cave. Tell me when you're in my cave.
I have it now.
Yeah, my cave.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm one shot. What spiral?
Trying to help you, Nick.
I think you want to run.
I'm only cave pitch.
He's in med. Hey, Dad, don't want me.
Austin's here.
One spiral. It's not him. Spiral.
I'm sacking.
Guys, keep it up.
Sacking with you guys.
I'm gonna push it out. I'm pinching actually. Alright, let's go there.
Yeah, go for it.
He's deep med.
Spiral really weak gap.
Hit it.
Nice, one more deep there.
John in med, weak. Two med. One's in med right now, John. In med, John, one deep med. One deep med. We're standing up.
He's in med, John. Med again.
Two med. 3 med.
Med window, just hold it.
Try get one.
Alright, hold spawns more important.
We can get this though. Just through there. No. They're all there.
Hold spawns.
Tabio chuck, my bad.
Top cave,
One more here.
Alright, apathy left.
Spawn.
Apathy left cave.
They're gonna be middle. They're gonna hit you.
No, Ash shot me coming.
Spiral. Alright, perfect. Alright, one spiral on you. Are they spawning?
Alright, do you have
yeah. I'll get side door. I'm playing side door. Play middle. I'm playing side door to help. I'm helping back.
I'm playing close.
One's cave, John. One's cave,
Watch your left, Nick. I'll be left.
John's cave, one's middle. John's cave, one's middle. Side door. Hitting cubby, one shot.
Three cubby.
What's side door?
Jerry, I need over here.
Close right.
Kill me.
Caps on you, Jerry.
Nice, one up front. I'm helping you, Sam. Finesse, Sam.
Yeah, one shot.
Zombie.
Green truck.
Cave or mid.
Austin all the way in the back, he got me. Austin's all the way in the back.
All the way back, Kelly. I spawn out.
One's gonna spawn showers.
Could be side door.
Side door, All side door from far.
Yeah, we're hitting front.
One back. Nice. Another one side door. Front showers.
I'll get him.
Wow, that's fun watching Luminosity. The communication absolutely on point. Everyone knowing their role, playing it well. Octane, kind of that vocal leader, play for the spawns, making sure that his teammates don't get too aggressive. They have control of this game, and Envy has to take the fight to him. And honestly, the only guy winning his gunfights, he's Slasher. He's +5. You talked about how good he is, Matt, but where are his teammates at?
And they're just not able to win any of their engagements. See 4 straight kills go in favor of LG. You have Slacked on a 4 streak, getting closer and closer towards more score streaks, but 126 to 51 here in game number 4. It was Envy that was able to take the first hard point, getting outslayed by 16. This time, the game is not as close as it was on throwback. LG looking to try and force a game 5.
90-point lead here for Luminosity, trying to get up to a 100-point advantage. They have total control of the center of the map. Now the question is, where are they spawning? 2 Envy players have been spotted. Octane's going to execute the first. Finds the second, was Slacked on the stairs. And now they're looking for the players that came off the split spawn. On the opposite side of the map, it's John. And John and JCap will survive for at least this first fight. You got a classic fully streaked out, but I believe he is the only one. Saints, though, is going to unlock his Trinity and is now just an assist away from a bombardment of his own.
But I mean, the slaying, I mean, it's like +20 almost in favor of LG yet again. So more dominance in respawns, just in terms of slaying from Luminosity. They are on the rotation first. Slack able to get 2. He gets taken out by the Scarab of Saints there. So now it's going to be Apathy and JCap trying to break in towards the hill. It'll be JCap sliding in, Apathy following it up. He's able to get 1. Now just trying to contest. This would be big time if EnVy is able to get it back.
John still contesting, gets traded out by grenades. Octane wins that gunfight, and Slasher, he's the only one here for EnVy. He is just holding his ground outside on the balcony, trying to stop the scoring from LG. 20 points remain here on this cell block hill. EnVy has broken through, but here comes the next push. Slacked is going to open things up. Octane and Slacked will clear them all out, and EnVy will go down. So the next fight, it's going to be across the map. John is set up first, but you know LG is going to be storming together.
Yeah, John is able to win a gunfight here against Classic, so it'll be EnVy in control of Graveyard first, and you see the streaks. Now they're going to start to come in from Luminosity. It'll be Saints with a Trinity Rocket. Slasher takes out Classic, so that evens this fight up. 3 players apiece going towards the hill. Look at these, the kills going in favor of LG. Saints with 2 here. Saints on a 3 streak, make it 4 for Saints. As he has showed up here in game 4, still has a bombardment as well. This is one where LG is trying to really put the hurt on EnVy, 100-point club.
Well, they remember what happened in game 1. All right, we're all out slaying them, but no one is in the hard point this time around. They are just smothering the hill. Perfect protection, and Slacked is even going to push out and look for these EnVy spawners with Saints. Saints finds Apathy in the window. Scarabs are out on the stairs from Classic, making sure that no one is breaking into the hill. Luminosity, they are rotating the spawns. They're setting up for the commissary perfectly, and even if they get pushed out, they're going to have 2 Trinities to work with, as well as the bombardment from Saints, and potentially a bombardment now for Slacked as he gets the hill time.
Well, I mean, the difference is when EnVy was getting outslayed in game 1, they still kept it close, and then they went huge towards the end. It was JCap. He was able to get a 2-piece mid-map, buy them some time on bike path. Then it was Slasher and John, baseball, able to keep them in it. Right now, I mean, you're down 219-89. It's going to be very difficult, almost damn near impossible to come back, especially with all the streaks coming on the board for LG.
EnVy has already been taken to a game 5. They went game 5 against FaZe last night. In fact, had to fight back after being down 2-1 in that series. That game went the distance. A round 11 clutch by Slasher got him here today. And after winning the first 2 games, it looks like EnVy is headed to another game 5. Luminosity dominates Breakout. Here they wrap it up, 250-89, the 100-point club. EnVy, welcome back in it.
Yeah, Octane makes those kills at the end look really easy, finishing, I believe, on a 5 streak. It's a dominant hardpoint game there from Luminosity, forcing the game 5. But you remember, EnVy was great in the search. So LG, this kind of goes back to stage 1 LG. Can they win a game 5 search and destroy? They're gonna have to take out a pretty good EnVy team to do it.
What was the most impressive part? Because there were so many great moments there. I felt like the observer, Brian Saint, was just having so much fun. Players 1 through 4. Doesn't matter who you go to. They're going on a 2, a 3, if not a 4 streak.
I mean, it's just their ability to just outslay, and then they just did a fantastic job rotating. We saw Slack set up at commissary early on that second rotation. It was able to get them a ton of time. It's just, even when we go in the listening, just the teamwork and the communication, it's clear, it's concise, everybody knows what's going on. It's just a team on clicking on all cylinders and Respawn.
LG, they got off to a slow start, but now they have powered their way through. They have tied up our best of 5 series. It's currently 2-2. Find out who is moving on to face E United in the winners bracket finals. Game 5, Search and Destroy Retaliation, coming up when we return. And welcome back. There's a live look at our audience here in the Columbus Arena. This is the Call of Duty World League Global Pro League Stage 2 playoffs. $500,000 up for grabs as we are watching the last match in our winners bracket semifinals. Luminosity fell down 0-2, but they have battled back, dominating the uplink and crushing through the last hard point. But now we're going back to search and destroy, and this is where EnVy shocked us to start off the series on Crusher.
I feel like we said his name a lot throughout the series. Slasher draws first blood here for EnVy in Game 5. It'll be Apathy in Garage, able to take out Saints. Octane from range, answers back with a kill.
And that's a big one, because now you go from a 2-on-4 to a 2-on-3. Octane and Classic working together, and the bomb is in the hands of Classic, so that's another good sign here if you're LG. The round not over quite yet. Octane's been spotted, but he also sees Slasher, and it looks like Slasher is going to fall before this round is over. It goes to EnVy. John picking up the final 2 kills.
Just a first blood there from Slasher. He did it time after time again on Crusher S&D in the game number 2. Starts off Game 5, picking up first blood as, EnVy during their week, search and destroy, so up and down. They were so poor on the first day. Then they started to battle back a little bit throughout the weekend. And they win a big Game 5 last night. They win Game 2 here. Be a huge confidence booster if they're able to take this one as well. As we see John with the sniper in his hand. He's going to look down bridge. Cap's going to know there's a few players here. Gets a few hit markers. Able to stay alive, though. Big play here from Cap. Able to get first blood and then get out with his life.
And John is going to find the short-range sniper. Look at the pick there on Saints. 4-on-2 scenario, and just like that, all of LG is going to get wiped. EnVy up 2-0.
It's a really nice snipe there from John. Close range.
He's one of the few players that's sticking with this weapon. Nagafen, he loves to try the sniper at times, but I can't think of how many playoff teams have been running the sniper on a regular basis throughout this tournament outside of John.
Well, a lot of the series we've had, I know, have ended pretty quick. 3-0s and whatnot, 3-1s, where we usually don't see, a map like Retaliation, where now, we go to Game 5, and this is a map where you do see the sniper more prevalent on.
Grenades going out early, and Classic survives the explosions from the cars. Bomb still in hand, and EnVy is going to back down on defense. So LG, they don't know it yet, but they have an open bridge. Player 8, those Slashers getting set up, and Apathy inside the hotel is going to be able to call out the location of at least 2 players on the bridge.
Yeah, and that's a tough spot for John. They thought about sending him maybe on that flank, and maybe he can kill the player in broken building, but with an E-Rad in his hands, if he gets caught at range, he's going to drop. Slasher gets 1 weak.
Slacked was 1 bullet away from death right there, and he has to stall out and just lay prone. And John is going to go hunting, so now 2 down for LG. It's all up to Octane in a 1v3. Octane gets John and gets out with his life, but now he has to pull off the ace if LG doesn't want to go behind 0-3 here.
Yeah, Octane, the only one with any kills for LG right now. The first 2 rounds have been swept by EnVy. They spot Octane, know exactly where he's at. He's in a tough spot in the open here on the bridge. EnVy doesn't need to challenge him. Octane may think about jumping off here. Doesn't want to give some more kills to EnVy. He's going to lose the fight. And Chris, this reminds me of how Luminosity used to play Search and Destroy when they were not successful. They play a little bit slow. You see how long they stalled out there on the bridge. It's kind of reminiscent of their old Search and Destroy. They try and get a little bit too technical with the strategy and whatnot. That's not this team's strength. They need to just be aggressive and push up the map.
Apathy surviving in the hotel, that was a key moment in that previous round. He's able to make the call-outs, gets out with his life, and ends up picking up the final kill. John with the sniper, tagged up by 2 NV4 shots, forced to back down. Slacked on your screen now from Luminosity. And he is working with Classic at short range. They're trying to pick off the NV players. Slacked outside is going to find Slasher, and Octane takes down John. So it's just JCap working with Apathy here from EnVy. And with that pick, Apathy's going to make it a little bit easier. But Apathy goes down, so it's only JCap left alive in the 1v3. He gets 2, but that's it. Go ahead, Matt.
Makes that real interesting. Slides through, able to take out 2 players.
Captain Cap, man. He disappears at times in the uplinks. We haven't seen him with super strong KDs there, but That's just a experienced player showing off that he still has the gun skill.
Saints able to take him out, though, so it ends the round. LG gets their first round on the board. But see if they can get another one. I think they need to be aggressive. You see them playing a little bit slow. I think you need to either just push down in towards B. See Octane getting picked at the beginning of the round. Not a good sign for LG. He's been their strongest player here in Game 5.
We talked about LG needing to be aggressive. It was Envy who took the fight to him. LG wins the fights inside, and Saints is going to win the final 1v1. Just like that, from 0-3 to now 2-3, LG starting to mount the comeback.
I believe it was a 2v4 there at one point. It was Classic and Saints the only one up, and Classic picks up 2 big kills inside of Hotel. Evens the odds. Saints finishes it off as LG wins 2 rounds back-to-back.
And we jump into round number 6 now. Envy still with a slight advantage. They have the bomb in hand as well, so they get to decide where the action will take place on the map. JCap, your bomb carrier, working below that deck. And his teammates clear out Bike. They now make the callouts. It's time to get the bomb down. Let's see how LG reacts.
Envy's giving up this top plat to LG, and Classic's going to come in, pick up 2. Slasher answers with 2 kills of his own. Not able to take out Octane. It'll be yet JCap, the only one alive yet again. Spots both players. Now he's going to go all the way out.
Cap has had some nasty clutches in Search and Destroy already. Won a big 1v1 last night against FaZe. Can he pull off the 1v2? He's got lots of time to work with as well. 40 seconds on the clock, and it only takes 5 seconds to plant this bomb.
He's had some tremendous clutches in the past as well. I can recount numerous times JCap clutching 1v2, 1v3 scenarios. Really excels when he's the only one alive. It's 27 seconds left.
And Cap gives him the loop-de-loo.
Well, if he gets this down and plants it towards Garage, I mean, he can play inside Garage, and he's in a good spot. So you see where he's planting the bomb?
Yep.
He's going to try and get out, but the issue is that these players on plat.
You don't see my feet. And he's not getting anywhere when you got Octane and Slack both looking at you. JCap, good attempt. You fooled him for a moment, but a slight hesitation on the plant is going to cost him his life. Not expected to win that 1v3, though. But I think most surprising, not expecting LG to win 3 straight and tie this game up.
Yeah, LG has bounced back after Envy has dominated the first 3 rounds. It's 1v1, where JCap loses it. Saints obviously has the jump on him. Saints again wins another 1v1 against Cap, and then right there, 1v2, Cap the only one up. Gets the bomb down, not able to get out with his life, so see if LG can take the lead here.
And Classic has been massive. He picked up another 2-piece after the first blood in last round. This time around, he has not seen anybody within the hotel. His teammate survives the opening gunfight, and JCap is going to get a free kill on Saints, blowing up the car. So LG's down a man. It's 3-on-4. Bomb still in hand, has not been planted, and they have no idea where Envy is. I think Classic just saw a player to his left, and now he's getting swarmed from his right.
They got to get back there in such a bad spot here. LG is Octane. Evens the odds. He gets camo as well. Will not invest it into the round. He's taken out by John.
And if you're slacked at this point, working with Classic, you just don't want to get picked by Slasher. Slasher so close to a camo of his own. Octane the first to reach 7 kills between the 2 players.
They don't know where Slacked is. So they know that they've seen 2 players over here. They don't know where Slacked is. And you see on the minimap, he's pushed up into a great spot, because if people from Envy rotate back where they think it may be open through this Cathedral area, he's going to be able to get at least 1. And Slasher tags up Classic, but he's able to get out with his life.
Classic is going to be the bait. Hopefully Slacked can be the punisher. But Slacked is nowhere near. Now he's got to play for the time, Matt. He's been spotted. This is going to be so tough for Slacked. 1 versus 3. They're all hunting for you. If you're Envy, you just can't split up. And Slasher will find the final kill. Envy retakes the lead, but this was getting ugly for a moment.
Yeah, Slack takes a nice route there. You see he jumps up onto scaffolding. A lot of players think he goes in towards that bike shop. He has to check the bomb, though. Obviously, somebody could be defusing it for Envy. But Slack almost makes that interesting towards the end. Slasher, who jumps up, sees him checking bomb. You had Apathy sliding right back out through Garage, so he probably would have been able to clean him up. See if Envy can get back in control of this game. was 2 rounds for EnVy, 3 rounds for EnVy, and then 3 straight for LG. Now EnVy has bounced back. You have both players with their camo abilities available as well.
Poor Astro. I don't know if his old heart can handle this, Matt. These have been some intense Game 5s for EnVy throughout the tournament so far. A rough start against FaZe yesterday. Now going the distance after having a 2-0 advantage. Octane still with camo for Luminosity, and Slasher has one of his own for Team EnVyUs.
John, though, takes out Octane. So the camo out of the question here for LG. The bomb will go down as Apathy has control of that back cathedral. The rest of the players of EnVy, and they have the bomb planted for them. They have the sniper available as well.
John's gonna get a pick here. I feel it. There it is. Doesn't take the shot in time. JCap cleans up Slacked anyway, and John uses the pistol on Saints. EnVy on match point against our Anaheim champions and runners-up from Stage 1 Luminosity.
It's a nice pick there from John with the sniper rifle. Opens up the sight. You kill Octane, you obviously don't give him an opportunity to use camo. So now if you're LG, pretty much have to invest camo into this round. Slasher has camo as well for EnVy. See how these two teams play this as Octane's got to make the play.
You think about the rounds that LG has won, it's the fast and furious ones where it's all gunfights at short range. EnVy slowing things down has been able to get the picks they needed. John, a big factor with the sniper on the attack. We'll see what they do on defense. John back with the E-Rad in hand. And Apathy is on the far flank. So EnVy's going to try and crash in just as Luminosity gets this bomb down. And the bomb wasn't feeling safe. They're all rotating to top market.
Yeah, once they see the players on the flank, they see the players on the top plat, they push all the way through. And Octane actually uses his camo to get through market. So you will not have the camo anymore for LG. Slasher still with camo on the side of EnVy. And he could use it actually to get up on this bridge if he wants. Maybe kill one player on the site, but I think they're going to wait. You're going to let the bomb go down. Now you're going to see the camo come through.
Off the wall, he was spotted, but they have no idea which angle he's going to be attacking from. The Predator still hunting as you have John and JCap getting the first 2 kills. Only Octane and Slack left alive, but they make it a 2-on-2. Octane is tagged up, but Slack is there. Slack now needs his 3rd kill in the round for LG to stay alive. John's on him. John is going to finish it. And EnVy will get the defuse, the 6-3 victory in a game number 5. John topping the leaderboard at 11-4 with 4 interactions at the very end. A 3 streak to close it out, Matt.
Yeah, John was huge, getting first bloods with the sniper rifle on that map. It looked like LG was coming back, but EnVy able to close it out here in a game 5, taking down Luminosity. A huge upset here, as they will find themselves now in the winner bracket final.
I feel like we're back in Atlanta. John showing MVP-style performances. Apathy had his moments. JCap, the captain, some huge plays in Search and Destroy, but it's Slasher. He has been the MVP of this squad so far. EnVyUs is going back to a winner's bracket finals, and they're matching up against E United tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think if you're Luminosity, you'll go back and watch that first hard point, and that's really where you're going to be kicking yourself. Luminosity needed to take that first hard point. You outslay by 16. You give it away to EnVy. They make some clutch plays down the stretch, EnVyUs. But still, Luminosity, you lose that series when you lose that first hard point. Tremendous clutch factor coming in from EnVy there towards the end.
It's amazing stuff. EnVy is 4-0 in Search and Destroy. They're undefeated in their weakest game mode. And right now, we have Slasher on the main stage with Courage.
I don't know what to believe anymore with this EnVy team. The top, 24 placing back at Anaheim. You guys then look abysmal at Search and Destroy in your regular stage matches in Stage 2. Now you're lights out in the game mode. Slasher, what the hell is going on?
To be honest, I don't even know myself. We showed up and we were really good at respawns in our week, and then now we can't even shoot our guns straight, apparently. But we're playing well in S&D, and that's the most important game mode throughout COD, so I'm glad we're playing well in that.
Well, everyone talked about in that series, great, the Search and Destroy clutches, but that map 1 was kind of an anomaly from what we've seen in Infinite Warfare. You guys get outslayed by 16 kills, but still win by 4 seconds. How is that possible on a game mode like Throwback Hardpoint?
I mean, we're just playing together and making sure every kill matters. Like, we're getting seconds with our kills, and they're just getting a lot of kills without getting points. Yeah. And going into it, I knew on the Bridge Hill when they needed like 6 points to win, I knew we could full hold bowling. So I was just like, guys, just come on, we can do this, and we held a perfect hill.
Well, all of you guys seem to have improved in Search and Destroy, but you've been going absolutely off in that series. What's working right now for you in the game mode?
I kind of just more worried about myself before I was trying to tell work on our team play more. And then I've always been kind of a lone person in S&D making plays on my own, and I kind of just trusted myself to go out there and make plays and let them do whatever they do by themselves.
Well, Slasher, you now guaranteed yourself a top 3. You've got to go up against E United in our winners bracket final tomorrow. What does Envy need to do to take down Clayster and crew?
Get some kills and a respawn. That's what we need to do.
Well, it's as simple as that. Envy need to get more kills, but for now, they get a huge series victory in Game 5. Benson and the boys, take it away.
Thank you very much, Jack. Great to hear, of course, from Slasher from Team EnVyUs. And as you heard Jack say, Envy has guaranteed themselves top 3. I would not have said I would have been saying that sentence out loud a month ago, but I mean, I do want to quickly touch on something that we were all kind of talking about. In terms of Slasher himself, I haven't heard him get that loud since AW Columbus Open, and in terms of the positivity as well, I mean, Merc, you kind of talked about it when we were watching that game. Seems like a different player.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever watched Team EnVyUs practice, even this week when they were scrimming Optic, you just heard them after every game, just very negative, trying to fix mistakes, and I get that. It's needed, but this has been a total different beast. I mean, he is encouraging his teammates to go out and finish kills. He's being a vocal leader. He's kind of doing it all, and it's impressive. It really is, because instead of being that negative Nancy, he's the guy leading this team, and that's what you'd rather see.
So far this weekend, he reminds me a little bit of watching Clayster play in terms of that vocal effect that he has, and encouraging his teammates, like you said. But we'll get to the chase. Of course, map 1 was hard point on throwback, 250-246, the final score, and Classic had camo and full streaks after 1 rotation of Hills, Momo. It was a great start for him.
It really was. Classic was fantastic kind of through yesterday, and coming into this was map 1. And I thought it was about this point, actually, that you can see. I thought it was kind of almost over. They were constantly in the lead, LG. They had the kills to back it up. You see there on the KD ratio, it's like +6, +5, +4. And then it kind of just all came down to this final moment. And like Slasher said, they held true. They kind of all put everything into this final baseball field, and it really did show. Slasher, of course, you know, 66 interactions, I think, by the end of it, but an absolute beast. He was kind of my player that impressed yesterday. I'm willing to say it might be the same going into tomorrow.
He's been damn good, that's for sure. But in terms of that map as a whole, Teep, what Envy was actually able to do, even if you go back to Bike Path, was just so impressive.
I think the fact that they're getting so heavily outslayed, number 1. They chain 2 of the most difficult hills to hold, in my opinion, especially when streaks are coming into play. They contest
and a camo.
They contest just long enough at Bike Path to force over to baseball. Then Classic calls down the bombardment. After he pops the best reactive I've seen in a long time, gets that 2-piece, basically negates that entire bombardment.
Yep.
And then they withstand somehow Classic coming in, getting a camo 2-piece. Not just 1 kill at the back, 2 players into bowling and the backside to break spawn. Slasher slides over, gets a 3-piece to end the game. That's hard to do. That's very hard to do for them at that amount of time, for them to string together that 2 minutes of gameplay in a throwback versus LG. What is happening today? I love it.
And I think sort of when you looked at that scoreboard, Luminosity, they still won barn by 70, right? That's sort of the difference maker was the 50, points at Bike Path. That was the big difference maker, and that came in that last hold. When have we seen a 50-second Bike Path hold? That is ridiculous. You have to control mid-map. You have to watch the spawns. A great job by Envy. JCap went huge in that hill. John, I mean, they didn't produce much else that map. To be honest, it was very poor from them, but they clutched up big time.
Yeah, just kind of touching on that Bike Path, it was Cap, actually, who kind of went top train, and he made, I think, individually 2 individual 1-kill kind of moments, which really helped them in that kind of momentum swinging. Obviously, Cap, we're very critical of quite a lot of the time, especially in his respawn. He starts quite slow, and against LG, you don't expect him to be dropping big numbers. But those individual kills, you've kind of got to point out and really kind of respect how much they influence the rest of the game.
I mean, it was funny, because we were actually saying, well, whilst that game was going on, we could be critical of Cap, but let's say Envy somehow win COD Champs this year. That would be 3 rings back to back. That would be just unbelievable. But back to back. Yeah, the J and J Cap could stand for Jet, dude. Call him Jet Cap at that point, dude. Like, he's.
Get this guy.
I mean, dude, he's playing so well.
Maven here, Maven. Yeah, you run the CWL. Can we get J Cap a jetpack, please?
Oh, dude, and this series was just a delight to watch. It definitely was. And of course, we go over to map number 2. It was Search and Destroy. Envy take this as well to go 2-0 up against LG, 6-3, and it was a weird one because it was a slow performance from Classic, which it feels weird to say. You can't be too critical of it because it was the first time this weekend we've really seen a slow performance from Merc, but it definitely showed.
Yeah, I mean, Luminosity, they've never been the best S&D team. When they've gotten better, though, like this was one of the maps that they've been really darn good at this year. Slasher had a 13-4, but yeah, Classic, he ended up 3-8, and the reason that's significant to me is he's sort of the entry guy, right? He's the one with the ERAD. He's making the plays. He's starting those trades, and if he's not winning that first fight, that's a problem, and this is the first time we've really seen Luminosity struggle in a search and destroy like that.
Very true. On the flip side, Slasher gets a double camo team, and with the changes in new meta, that's almost impossible.
So basically, if you haven't been, following Call of Duty for that long, it used to get payload meter after bomb plants, things like that. So double camos in search and destroy, pretty familiar with that. But now to get a double camo, the fact that he had sort of the overall confidence to pop it in round 5.
Bonus.
Pops it in round 5, wins that round. Gets another camo in that last thing the last round to close it out. That's just great gameplay overall. Slasher, he's a new beast at this point in time. At the perfect time, right before champs. The guy is unstoppable right now.
It's worth mentioning on the flip side, of course, Octane, he got a camo as well in that final round. And he wasted it a little bit. Obviously, he gets into a gunfight with that. He pops reactive.
Right.
And it goes to favor of LG.
Yeah, I think as well, I think kind of as well, it does come down to those payloads, and Teak touched on it, it's so rare to see a double camo. The fact that you're getting it as well, I think that's the second time we've seen Slasher this weekend alone get an above 3 KD in a search and destroy. I know it's only a map, so it's kind of like your 13 to 4s and stuff like that, but the consistency that he's doing it against the caliber of teams that he's doing it against is phenomenal. His respawn's on point, his S&D's fantastic. What a player this weekend.
And to that point, we asked the question, all right, which player realistically can go toe-to-toe with Octane? He literally did that throughout the entire series. Even the map 4 hardpoint where they got completely obliterated, we'll touch on it in a few minutes. I mean, he was still performing very, very well. But before we get there, obviously, map 3, the uplink. This is where, at the start of the game, it was unbelievably close, Merc. It looked like it was going to be one of those slow-paced, kind of typical EnVy uplinks. And they started off the game just phenomenally.
Yeah, they started off pretty well, but then, JCap and Apathy, even John, they all had really bad maps against Slasher, playing exceptionally well, was outperforming Octane at this point, even going into the second half. At one point, Octane was 12-11. The game was going on. I looked back up, and he was 24-12.
Yeah.
And that is when everything changed. Luminosity put them in a spawn trap, and that was basically GG. It was very scary for me there on out. Saints and Slash stepped up. You just can't allow that to happen. You can't allow that breathing room. As soon as they get in a spawn trap, Luminosity just took over.
That trap right there was just so darn beautiful to watch. I feel like other teams need to take note of it, of when to use those streaks. Octane pops that Trinity rocket at the perfect time to catch 3 players off the respawn, gets the 4th player on the rotation with his gun as well. The fact that he single-handedly got, back-to-back, what was it, 5 or 6 streaks in a row.
Yep.
Man, that's just scary stuff from LG and Octane in specific.
I think even going into the half, we saw EnVy lead, what was it, 3-1? Yes, Slasher was 20-10, or, somewhere of the likes of that. But his other 3 teammates, one was double negative, one was nearly triple negative, and the other was negative. It just says a lot that they're going into a half winning. Same as the hard point. Then they're down, they win a hard point by being outslayed. How is this happening? And it is just great teamwork. We've talked about EnVy all week long through their group as well. Their teamwork, they're not necessarily the best team in the world, but their teamwork is fantastic.
Well, you're completely right. Of course, they're moving over to map 4. This one was a little quicker, that's for sure. 100-point club. LG just kind of turned up. Everyone slaying. As I said, though, it just felt like Slasher needed some kind of help.
Yeah, I felt bad for the guy on this one. He was shooting back, the rest of the team just wasn't. And I want to go into some sort of in-depth strategy of how they could have done something better. Nah, the other 3 just need to shoot back.
That's definitely
just shoot
the case.
Something.
And it was weird because it almost looked like they were setting up for a reverse sweep here.
Oh, they were. This was sort of old Luminosity, right? Before they were winning, this is how they lost series. They would let one respawn slip away. They would lose both searches. And you just be like, how can this happen? This team has so much talent because they're doing things like this. Matt just texted me. They outslayed EnVy by 77 kills this series.
Oh my God.
77.
I have the same fate.
That's a lot of kills.
It's ridiculous.
77?
Yes.
Over a whole series, they outslayed 77 and they lost 3-2. That's...
like S&D wins championships.
That sounds like old LG, to
It's
be honest.
old Luminosity. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
They have to win.
They
have to win a search again. It goes back to the same thing. That S&D win percentage has to be at a 50%. They have to win an S&D at least.
I mean, then obviously we talk about Game 5. It was just Envy in full control. We've been so hypercritical of sniper rifle players throughout the year, but then John, he uses it perfectly. He understands when to push, when he doesn't need to be aggressive, when to actually switch out weapon as well, Momo. It's very, very impressive to watch.
Yeah, I'm the most critical person of a sniper rifle, and I think it's purely from my past of playing with people who used to pull it out and not really utilize it to the best of its ability and not know when to put it away. But you've got to give it to Johnny. He used it previously on throwback, did great with it. But on this map in particular, he was even picking players off on rotation, just flanking around, and it was enabling, full control of the sights. Great play overall, but Envy, that quick 3-0 lead, soon turned to 3-3.
Yeah, I got nervous, though. They had 3L, then it was 3-3, and you could see that they made adjustments. Luminosity, they were just 4-hitting hallway, always together, the Luminosity we expect. That's where that sniper comes into play. If you can get an early pick, you allow yourself to go into a situation 4v3. Just a great play all around. John ends up 11-4. That's what you want to see. That's the John we know and love. That's the MVP from last year, because the rest of the series, he was pretty much non-existent.
Very true. Finishes, of course, Game 5 on a 7th streak, but you think about that. Think about that statement you just made there, Merc. They win map 1 hardpoint 250 to 246. Let's say John has a better game. He goes even. They're not just winning. They've been winning by a fair amount of points.
Any of these guys, if Apathy steps up, you saw in Game 1, when he just has a 1, they win. I mean, look at this. I mean, Octane plus 28 this series. I mean, a 1.39, that's absolutely ridiculous. If you're Luminosity, you're mad you lost this series. I mean, I know they play Fnatic later tonight. They're definitely a team that can go on a run, though. I mean, who knows? They might even end up back in the grand finals.
Very, very true. For Slasher, though, I think that was one of the more impressive performances we've seen from an individual in terms of consistency across every single game mode. I mean, we all kind of sat there saying, yeah, dude, he's turned into a new beast. Slasher is basically just evolving here at the Stage 2 playoffs. Excited to see EnVyUs play. Of course, we'll get to see them play in the Winners Bracket Final tomorrow. Before we get there, though, we do have 2 more elimination matches to come. And, of course, up next, Optic Gaming versus FaZe. It's a rematch of the Stage 1 playoffs as well. I mean, how is this series going to go down, T? I always kind of bring up this question. You have one team coming off a loss, of course, Optic Gaming. Another team coming off a win, of course, FaZe. Is that going to be an effect, you think?
Yeah, momentum is obviously huge in anything competitive, in my opinion. But I don't know what to predict today anymore. My head hurts. I'll be honest.
You were flawless yesterday, bro.
I was 4-4.
Absolutely just...
Day 1, 4-4, spot on. Day 2, I've got every single one wrong. Today's been awesome. I love being wrong in a sense because the upsets are just fantastic.
NVE United Winners Final. Who would have thought that? I would definitely.
No way. No chance.
I love it. I love it.
Great games.
Yeah.
In answer to your question, Optic v FaZe, I've got to go with Optic. I do think Optic will take the series. Okay. I think there's too many flaws in FaZe right now, and I think, I think they need 2 players to step it up. I think, for me, Zuma needs to step it up big time, and even Gunless.
Yeah, completely agree. Gunless definitely hasn't had that big impact I think a lot of us would have thought. In terms of the maps as well, it's going to be the same map set for the final couple of games, Merc. How do you see the maps really playing an effect here in this series?
Well, we saw Breakout, and, I mean, this is one where you've seen Optic play well on, you've seen FaZe play well on. I'm not too sure. Retaliation's just a show that excites me, because that's Gunless versus Optic. That was Gunless's playground for a very long time. Pre-state uplink, we saw FaZe absolutely dominate. We saw Optic play well on it. I think this series is going to be decided by that uplink.
By the uplink? All right. Well, still 2 games to come here at Day 2 of the Stage 2 playoffs of the Call of Duty Global Pro League presented by PlayStation 4. After that last result, we now know our Winners Bracket Final, which we play tomorrow. United versus Team EnVyUs. Both teams guaranteed top 3. Fnatic now place Luminosity Gaming later tonight. But up next on the main stage, it's our Stage 1 rematch, Optic Gaming versus FaZe.